This is Ryan Frankowski and
Kelly Muskorski.
And we are with Amethyst brand ambassador Jane. How's it going, Jane?
It's good. How are you guys?
We're doing better than we deserve today. We got so much opportunity to just dive into Amethyst, our favorite non-alcoholic liquor alternative. Jane, thank you so much for sending us some samples.
Of course. You got to try it before you buy it.
Yeah. So we tried the lemon cucumber Serrano
Serrano.
last time, and I don't know if we can beat it.
Yeah.
But today we have the watermelon lime that we're going to try.
Yes. And tell us your favorite mocktail with Amethyst right now. You said it's something about watermelon.
Yeah, I'm really into the watermelon lime right now. It's our newest flavor. And I love it as a mojito.
You know, something about this alternative liquor, if you will. I mean, is that what you would call it?
Yeah, I just say it's a non-alcoholic botanical spirit. And a lot of times people will be like, well, what is it? Is it like a vodka or is it like a gin? And I'm like, no, not really. We don't want to refer to it as that because it's so versatile. And then I'll go into the spiel of, what you can do with it. Like I just told you, the mojito, but you can make margaritas with this. You can make a martini with these. You can make mules with these. So it's so versatile that you can make any cocktail that's out there and use it as the replacement for whatever liquor you're trying to replace.
Yeah, and I just love the design, the bottle. The mission statement is so in line with our message, which is mindful, non-alcoholic with the drinkers, because you can incorporate this. Even if you wanted to, you could mix it with alcohol, but obviously we are trying to be more balanced and mindful with the mocktails. We love that you incorporate in your mission, it's balance, wellness, and
inclusion.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's our mission too.
Yep.
So what I love about it says no refrigeration needed. Enjoy up to 6 months after opening. You can savor it over ice or combine it with soda water, which is what we're going to do today. And you can also build a cocktail from it. It's very versatile. Do you typically do like equal parts, Jane?
I actually do. I go a little heavier with the amethyst just because I want to get more of that.
Yeah, the flavor's so good.
But so usually I'll do about 2 ounces of it and then just top it.
So we're going to try this one. I'm so excited. Cheers, Jane.
Cheers, Jane from Amethyst.
Okay. Wow.
You got a little kick.
Wow.
Yeah, it does give you that little kick. Like
Okay.
that's what I said to Kelly last time. Like sometimes when you don't have the kick, you could just guzzle it and that defeats the purpose of having that mocktail experience of sipping it like our counterparts or our drinker friends, the messies. We call them messies, Jane. We love our little messy friends. I used to be one. I'm a retired party animal. And Kelly right now, she is off the booze for a week.
So far, yeah. Just taking a little pause.
Nice.
I think that's the cool thing to do now.
Yeah, totally. You
How
know,
about
it's
yourself?
every person's different. I am not sober, but I kind of refer to myself as soberish
Yeah.
because I'll go, a couple months at a time and not have a single drink. But then, like this weekend, I had a high school reunion. And so I had a couple beers, but then I had an amethyst drink at the end, and then I had water. So, I'm being mindful, conscious about what I'm doing. Number one, because I have to drive, and I'm an adamant believer in no drinking and driving. I've, put that in my son's brain. I have the Uber app on his phone with my credit card. Like, don't ever do it,
Right.
But that's kind of how I am. I'm just more mindful about it. I mean, hangovers suck when you get older and,
Yeah.
who wants to feel like, major anxiety the next day and then you're worthless and you're like laying around and you get nothing done. So, that's kind of where I am. I choose when I want it. And, I know myself when I start drinking, it's not always that I stop. So
Yep,
then,
I
I go
identify with that.
over the hill,
Mhm.
and then I'm in trouble.
Yep.
So I'm very conscious about it now, which is cool. And but hey, I don't mind, everybody's to each his own. I think it's awesome. We have these kind of products out there for us to do this and make the choice.
Jane, we're so happy to have you. We're going to get into some questions that we have for you.
Okay.
Can you share your journey with us? Like, what interests or quirky hobbies did you have that kind of led you to the world of non-alcoholic spirits?
Well, I got here because I was actually in the liquor industry before. And 2020, I was at another distillery and lost my job because of COVID, and fell into this new job. And I was actually just working in the retail store of the distillery. And then they said, "Hey, we've got an opening for a brand ambassador for Amethyst, our non-alcoholic product. Would you like to take it on?" Yes. And so I knew nothing about NA, nothing. All I knew was, yeah, there's O'Doul's. I drank that when I was pregnant and it was gross.
It's so
But
bad.
it's so bad. And so I just started, like, really honestly just searching the web, social, and just learning so many things. I started making friends in the NA space. And my biggest mentor is Chris Marshall. We did a lot of fun pop-ups for a couple years all over the country and just had a blast. And so that's kind of how I got to where I am now. And quirky hobbies, probably the quirkiest hobby for me is I've learned how to make some great, and this isn't really quirky, I guess, but great cocktails that are zero proof. So I literally have probably 100 recipes
Ooh,
that
that we'll
I've
call that
made with our
quirky.
products.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
And so at some point, I would like to do a little recipe book of amethyst
Yeah.
drinks.
Ooh, we'll stay
So
tuned. We're gonna stay
yeah,
tuned for that.
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So that's kind of like what I've done, and because of that, I ended up with a lot of, like, cocktail books because there's not a ton of mocktail books out there, but there are some more. They're coming around. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I am now.
Well, I love to hear that because I
Mm.
do have a ton of cocktail books when I was studying mixology in New York. And I just realized that, like, I always wanted to have that fancy shaken beverage. And I really think, like, with the amethyst, you can do that, but, like, it is delicious on its own with just sparkling
Mhm.
water.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
totally,
it really
totally.
is. You're right. Now, I'm curious, from your messy days before children, do you have any embarrassing or cringeworthy stories? Like, we talk about our messy past from college. I don't know if you have, like, an interesting, funny story that you're like, oh shit, I am never gonna do that again.
Oh gosh, I could probably write a book for you guys on that. I'm a Gen Xer that, oh boy, did we know how to party in college. Yeah, there's a lot of college ones, but I'll be honest, I had a really messy one a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And that's the one that, I kind of laugh about it now, but it also was kind of serious and a little bit embarrassing. But it was my birthday weekend, and I decided to head down to the bar downstairs in the distillery and start happy hour. And so I had a couple friends there, and we started that. And like a big dummy, I was drinking rye whiskey in a cocktail, which was fabulous. Um, and I had no food in me. So, long story short, my friend at work had to take me home. Um, Woke up the next morning, had a bruise on my ass, a bruise on my lip. And I was like, oh my God, what happened to me? And so my husband then tells me the stories. And then my friend that brought me home tells me the stories. And I was like, oh my gosh, did I act like I was drunk? Was I embarrassing? What happened? No, no, you were fine. But literally, that was like that was the light bulb for me 2 years ago. I was like, that's it. Never doing that again because, you're too old to act like this. It's embarrassing. And oh my God, you could have died. I don't even know what I fell on to get these bruises,
Yeah.
but it was in my closet somehow. But um,
Probably taking off your shoes or something.
that was kind of my messy moment. That's not so far in the past.
Yeah. No, what year? So 2 years ago, that would have been 2022.
Yes.
Yeah, I had that in 2021. I was like
Mm-hmm.
big wake up call like after like we were getting out of the pandemic, and I feel you, like I was
Mm-hmm.
just like I can't do this again,
Mm-mm.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary, when
Yeah.
you get to that, it's different if you just get a little buzz and then you're like, whoo, I had a buzz. But when you're truly blacked out and don't know what happened, that's scary, embarrassing, just a big concern.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. And I've learned a lot from that.
Well, we can say that we've had plenty of moments like that. And that's
Yes.
what led us to like where we're at now too. Have you had any like hilarious or messy stories that led to like unexpected lessons?
Well, the biggest lesson, honestly, that I've learned by getting into this kind of soberish mindset is that I'm not gaining weight, I'm losing weight. I'm actually like more conscious about it and I'm focusing on how I eat, and that has felt really good. Cuz just this year I've lost 12 pounds very slowly, but it was 12 pounds and now, you feel good and you're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
you
big
get a little
deal.
more energy. So, that's another thing that's from the messy side that's kind of helped me move forward and be more conscious about when I'm taking in the alcohol, because the drinks are like a lot of times when you're having a fancy cocktail, unless it's a dirty martini or something, you're getting a lot of sugars and things like that in there,
Oh
and that's
yeah.
just going straight to the belly.
Oh
I
So
mean, for
yeah.
real, I haven't had a drink in 8 days, and normally I would have had like 2 nights by now that I would have drank,
right,
like,
Yeah.
and I've already lost like 3 pounds, and I'm like,
exactly.
what? And then when he got sober, how much did you lose?
I lost 20
Yeah.
pounds from like being completely sober. Now, I don't think I ever had that, like where you guys can like have a little bit of like moderation involved. I
Hmm.
was like all or nothing. It would be like, okay, if it's Friday or Saturday, I'm drinking like the whole night out. It would just be like, and so that does add up to empty calories, even when you are really doing the dirty martinis, even though they might not have the
Hmm.
sugar, it's empty calories because you're still getting them in there. And then you're also wanting to eat like fried food, cookies, whatever it
Exactly.
is.
Exactly. You make all those bad decisions.
Yeah. And then, like you said before, the anxiety kicks in. You're like, I
Yeah.
should work out, but I feel dehydrated the next day and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like shit. And as I get
Hmm.
older, I'm like, I don't want to do this cycle.
Yeah. 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 It's not worth it.
Mm-mm. No, no. I think that Amethyst, like the NA spirit, like if it was a person at a party, how would you describe them? Like, I do feel like in some ways I'm not giving you like what I would say necessarily, but it is such an elevated mocktail.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Hmm.
curious, like, if you had to like characterize it, like Jack Daniels, you know who that person is, or you know who the like
Hmm.
martini, like James Bond gin martini guy is. Who is the Amethyst NA spirit at the party?
He is the beautiful goddess that has so many friends and can make everybody laugh and enjoy themselves.
I can taste that. I can feel that.
Oh fuck,
Yeah, I'm
Jade.
taking another sip.
You just like said like that's who I wanna be. And I think 10 months of like learning, like I don't need to be the drunk guy that's trying so hard. I can just be Amethyst, the cool girl or cool guy. We don't have
Exactly.
to be sexist.
Whichever, God, goddess, whatever.
Yes. I'll be a goddess for all intensive purposes, you know. But you're right, like making everybody feel like included because I know that like I don't need to be around only people that do not drink because I think a lot of my friends and family, there's no way. And
Right.
I don't necessarily want to change that about people because I think that I don't know most, but I think a lot of people can have that healthy moderation. The other people that can't, now we have multiple options like Amethyst that you cannot feel like, oh, I'm like an odd man out. I can feel like I fit in.
Right. And that's the big thing. And whether anybody understands it or not, it doesn't matter. If it works for you, that's all that matters, in my opinion. And having the availability of non-alcoholic options when you go out, that's what matters.
Yeah. Now, do you notice like you're on certain menus in like your specific location? Like, do you guys pitch that to bars and restaurants to be on their menu?
Oh yeah. Yeah. In our area, we are on quite a bit of menus. There's a couple of restaurant groups in Hilton Head that have us on their menus. We've got a lot of menus in Savannah because Savannah is really close to us, like 40 minutes. Um, Charleston, some in North Carolina. And then there's other places too, because I actually have kind of near you guys, and well, not that near, but in Philly,
Yeah.
there's quite a few restaurants that have it, uh, have have us on the menus, and there's a couple non-alc bars that are out there that have us. So it's definitely growing.
I used to
Yeah.
live in Beaufort, South Carolina, actually, I was there for 3 years. So I'm
Oh
familiar with
wow,
all
how
those
cool!
areas and I miss it so much.
Hey,
Except the
oh
hurricanes. That was stressful.
yeah, yes.
What do you find? Like, do you think there will be a point where we will be even when it comes to profitability of these two different, non-alcoholic beverage and alcoholic beverage? Or do you find like you're always going to be more profitable with an alcoholic beverage company?
For company revenue wise, right now, yes, alcohol is going to make more. But over the past, let's see, because this really started kicking in 2020, and the NA industry is growing by leaps and just bounds. So, we're talking 2026, 2027, it's definitely going to be that $1 trillion industry, which is huge. And for the cost of a drink or the cost of the product, if you walk into the liquor store or the bottle shop or whatever, it actually can hang with the pricing. So, like Amethyst is, $29.99 retail. So, because we feel that it is a craft non-alcoholic spirit. And on most of the menus, I suggest to the restaurants, don't sell this for $8, sell it for, $11 or $12. Because depending on how much you're elevating the drink, it's no different than you elevating the alcohol drink. The bartender's still having to make that, still having to create it, still having to add those homemade ingredients to it. So I think I'd say give it a few more years and it'll be just like everybody turning vegan. We don't think anything about that now, so it'll be maybe the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about you, Jane. What inspires you
Okay.
daily?
I love knowing that people enjoy and love Amethyst because I could not sell it if I didn't like it myself, and
Yeah.
I do. Um, And honestly, I love meeting everybody. I mean, I've met you guys now. It's like I've met so many people from all over the country, whether it's in person or via Zoom. Um, I just love that, So, and it's like you can just make these great connections with people. And I just love what I'm doing. Of course, sometimes it's stressful, but um, at the end of the day, I'm proud to be working for the company. I'm proud to be the face behind the brand, and I'm proud that I've made a lot of awesome friendships through it. So, that's kind of my day. And then at night, I actually don't turn off. I'm on social, talking to people. So,
I
it's part of
love
my
that
life
about
now.
you. Because you
Thanks.
definitely like speak the brand, you don't turn it off. It's kind of like who you are. You would almost think like you're one of the founders.
Yeah.
And it's like I think they definitely secured the best person for that position because we've worked with a lot of brand representatives of other non-alcoholic beverage companies and even alcoholic ones. And you could tell that like when it's such a large corporation, they get lost in the mix. And I think this is like a unique brand, which like really has an uncovered message behind it, not just to be profitable, but to really like have that mindset that we do. There's a story behind it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now,
And I
looking
appreciate
ahead,
that.
what's your wildest dream for Amethyst NA Spirits? Do you think that there's any surprise collaborations we should keep our eye out for?
The biggest thing that I want to happen is I want Amethyst to be a household name.
Ding,
So,
ding, ding.
however it has to happen, I'm going to do my best to make that happen. I want the amethyst effect, kind of like the Tito's effect. Everybody walks into a bar and they want Tito's. So I want that. I want the amethyst effect, the household name for the NA world.
And we want to be the lead podcasters of Amethyst. We really want to appreciate and thank you, Jane, for believing in us as we really are inspired by your message, your brand. Your product is not only amazing to taste.
This is so good.
It looks just beautiful, and that's part of it. So thank you for coming on Mocktails Are Messy, Jane. We are excited to meet you in person.
Yeah, thank you, Jane. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you guys, and thank you for having me.
Next time we are getting that muddled mint watermelon mojito with you.
Yes, yes, you have to.
It's a mouthful.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys.
Have a good one. Have the best night, Jane.
This is Ryan
Have a good night.
Frankowski and
Kelly Musgorski.
Thank you, Jane from Amethyst, for coming on Mocktails Are Messy. We will see you in the new year.
Bye.